talk some basketball. Sean Kilpatrick, number 23, enters the Cincinnati Hall of Fame. Now Mick Cronin saying his jersey should be retired, essentially pointing to the fact that SK, one of two Bearcats to score over 2,000 points. Very fair argument there. Talking about how much of a leader he was and the character that he displayed. Mick Cronin also said that his former player Gary Clark should have his number 11 retired. Just pointing to UC's history as a whole, it's not displayed enough. More jerseys should be hanging in the rafters. You know, I don't mind the dialogue starting, but if you're going to claim that SK should be in the rafters, you better make an invitation to Steve Logan first. And if you're going to claim Gary Clark in the rafters, you better make an invitation to Jason Maxiell first, Houdini.
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky. Sean Kilpatrick, he's his second leading scorer in UC history. Only two players have scored over 2,000, one of them being Oscar Robertson. But then when you start going down the line, look, he played 4 years, so the point total is a little skewed. But you're looking at, you got to retire Steve Logan then. You got to retire Nick Van Exel, Maxiell, Danny Fortson. Like the list keeps going and going. If you're just looking at, Sean Kilpatrick was awesome. He was a second-team All-American. But do we want to turn into that team that has like 86 jerseys hanging in the rafters, and everybody's got to wear these bizarre numbers? Like Dylan Mitchell's wearing 23, man. I think we can't get rid of 23. It's too sick of a number. So that's where I think I see why Sean wants to get it retired. We know that he's a big guy on accolades, but I think it's a slippery slope. So for now, I think we leave it as is. We're not retiring it. Steve Logan, if anybody, should have a bigger gripe, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's you got to have a Kenyon Martin level season at this point to hang another one up there. I like the exclusiveness. I mean, you got to have a season where the entire city is like, holy, you know what? I mean, half the city, Xavier fans are claiming they don't even know who Sean Kilpatrick is still to this point. But no, amazing player. Eric, what's your take on this?
I'm with you guys on the high standards in terms of putting it up in the rafters, but I do think that we got to do a much better job at honoring former players, like in that, the group of players that are just under retiring numbers. We gotta do more. Like it shouldn't have taken this long with SK.
With SK, fellas, my issue, it comes down to and the issue is, if you go down this rabbit hole, Kenyon Martin didn't do much in the tournament either, but it's really hard, recency bias wise, to say, hey, a player that, yes, best player out there, but a player in his last season didn't win his conference tournament, nor, could beat Harvard in the first round, should have their jerseys up there with Oscar Robertson and Kenyon Martin and Twyman. It's sacred grounds. And Kilpatrick, he's got his picture up and his accolades up in the practice gymnasium.
Yeah, I mean, with the portal and like, we're going to see fewer and fewer 4-year guys, like, I want to maintain a high standard because this is Cincinnati basketball, but we got to honor players that did special things, but we also can't just retire everybody's number, like Hudson said, I want to see 23, like it's a cool number. Everybody loves it. And like get to the Final Four if you want that up there,
Well, saying to Lily's point about playing all 4 years and with the portal and people entering the NBA, all that good stuff, it might take a while for a guy to put 4 years in a UC uniform and score that many points, and kind of do it the right way too. I mean, he all class all the way through. So I could see an argument for having him up there, but it is kind of insane that we have, with this historical program, 3 total jerseys have been retired. I mean, literally 3. There's been so many damn good players that have come through. So I don't think he should feel any slight with that. It's like, dude, there's been absolute studs that came through this arena and have not been retired yet. So I don't think he should have any hard feelings as far as not getting that jersey retired.